Hey everyone, it's David out here on week 25 in Korea. This week started out kind of wet, kind of rainy, and looking kind of dreary outside. Last week we had a couple of days where it got up to almost 60 degrees, but not quite. So I was hoping maybe we'd get more of that, but it actually went the opposite direction, and it seems like it's been just getting colder. So I decided to go to this new supermarket that I frequented one time, and it's right across from the other Panda Mart that I filmed some videos at a couple of times. But this one's pretty nice because it's got all your regular supermarket kind of goods in there. Plus it also has some additional things like a little bit of a home goods section and different things like that. So it's kind of like a dollar store mixed with a supermarket kind of area. So it's pretty cool. They also have a bakery, and at that bakery I ended up getting these, and it's banana shaped bread. And I also found this called hot bread. Not really sure what that was, but it looked good. And it says, I think that says microwave it for a little bit or something on there. I'm not real sure. My Korean is terrible. I also picked up a new batch of eggs. And then I found these little bananas, which I just can't get enough of because the smaller they are, it seems to be the sweeter they are out here. I also got some more lotus root, so I've been really enjoying that lately. And I got a sweatband, so that way I look like somebody out of the 80s when I go running. So I decided to try the banana bread right off the bat, and I really wasn't sure what it was going to be. I just kind of assumed that it would be banana bread, and opened it up, and it's definitely dyed with something probably not the best for you, but I had to try it anyway, and yeah, it just tastes like bananas. After that, I felt the need to go to the gym after eating the artificial bananas flavored bread, and after I got done with the gym, by the time I got back, it was definitely getting wetter and more rainier, and definitely starting to get colder. And they had called for a possibility of snow, but it really didn't look like it was going to. So I decided to make dinner. Yeah, for dinner I just decided I was going to do some lotus root and try that out and see how it was. Last time I did this, I just put it in the air fryer, and you're really not supposed to overload the air fryer, but this one seems to do a great job, even when I put way too much stuff in it. But whenever you do the lotus root like this and just air fry it for quite a long time, it starts to get this really good consistency to it. And it's almost like, not necessarily crunchy, it's a hard texture to describe, but it's really, really good. And it's kind of one of my new favorite go-tos just because it's quick and easy. While I was waiting for that, I decided to figure out what this hot bread was. And so I kind of looked at it a little bit, and it looked like it had mustard and ketchup on it, and wasn't really quite sure exactly what it was. And as I was inspecting it a little bit, I realized, oh, there's a hot dog inside of there. So I guess hot bread is just a bread with a hot dog in it. So I ended up cooking up the rest of the lotus root, and this is kind of what it looks like whenever it gets cooked up. But in the lotus root, I threw about half of that hot bread in there just to see how it would cook up. And it actually was pretty good. The hot dog was a little bit different than a hot dog in the U.S. It had a little bit more snap to it. But usually I eat the lotus root with some spicy mustard, and I decided to put some bacon jam with it too this time. Throughout the week, it just got more rainy and more wet. Hadn't seen the sun in a couple of days, so it was a good time to get a package from Dad and open up and then see what goodies he sent. One thing that I asked him to send was this Cajun jerky from J-Bar Meats out in Texas, and Dad sent a whole bunch of it, which made all the guys that I work with very happy, because whenever I get that kind of stuff, I take it into work and let people dig through it, and everybody seemed to really like that one particular one. So thanks, Dad, for sending that all out. And there's always other seasonal yummies in there, like these butter beans and sardines and things like that Dad throws in there. So thank you for all that, Dad. I'm really enjoying it. Overall, a good haul of stuff. And everything made it without breaking. So towards the end of the week, again, just nothing but rain pretty well all week long. There's a monsoon season here, and I feel like we're in it, but it's not really supposed to happen this time of year. Later that day at night, actually, it just started pouring down quite a bit, and started cooling off quite a bit too. And whenever I woke up in the morning, apparently overnight, all that rain changed to snow. And I kind of thought we were done with snow, and I feel like a broken record because I said that pretty well in, I don't know, maybe the past 5 videos that we've done, but yeah, it just keeps snowing. And my car is out there covered in snow. I had the smart sense to put my windshield wipers up, but my car's right there. And yeah, it was buried pretty good. But then throughout that day, it just got a little bit more cloudy and a little bit more snowy, and yeah, it made traveling pretty rough. But they're pretty good at cleaning out the roads and being on top of that kind of stuff over here and salting the roadways, so that way driving's not too treacherous. But yeah, it definitely came down for a good couple of hours, maybe even the whole day. It came down because, yeah, it must have been the whole day, because later that night I went out to the gym, and it kind of subsided just a little bit. And then after the gym, I was going to go eat with somebody that I know. And whenever I went back out, it started snowing again. So I stopped just for a little bit and then picked right back up. And yeah, like I said, it was just a one full day's worth of snow. And I'd like to think that it's probably done snowing now, but in reality, people keep telling me, no, don't discount it just yet. It's probably got a little bit longer of a winter going on, and the chances that it snows at least one more time is pretty great. So I'm really wanting some warm temperatures, but I'll put up with whatever it is, just because I don't really have a choice. So I decided to go to invite a friend out to go to this restaurant that we go to, and it's a fried chicken restaurant. Everybody raves about Korean fried chicken and how much better it is than the chicken in the U.S. and it's pretty good, but I'm partial to the United States, so I think chicken in the United States is just a little bit better, but I still enjoy going out every once in a while. This was a couple of days later, and it's been cold enough to where the snow has been sticking around, so even though it's been cleared off the sidewalks and things, there's still snow everywhere. But it's because it's so snowy outside and so cold, it's forced me to go inside for all my walking and running needs. But the gym that we have, the one that I go to, is pretty nice. It has a good walking track indoors, so it prevents me from having to be out in the elements and freeze and be able to still get my exercise without having to freeze to death. So the guy who I got all my handsomeness from sent me a recipe, and I don't want to mention his name specifically because if anybody saw how this recipe was created and knew that he was doing this, he might be banned from the state. But sent me this recipe for ribs, and you actually do them in the oven. And so for a while I could not find any cut of ribs that I could use because everything out here is a cross cut of ribs. It's not a section of ribs like this is. And I finally was able to find some at the store, and so I was really excited to try out the recipe. But basically you take any rack of ribs and cut them up into singles, and then double wrap them up in foil and season it up as much as you want, and just make sure that the foil is wrapped up airtight, because basically they're going to steam inside of this foil packet. But wrap it up nice and tight, and then after that put it in a pan just in case anything decides to leak out of there. And then once it's all nice and wrapped up and ready to go, put it in an oven for about 2 hours on whatever the lowest setting you got is. This one, I think the oven goes down to about 250, so that's what I ended up putting it on. But let that sit for a while, and then after 2 hours is up, pulled it out of the oven, and it was nice and hot and steamy, and I cut it into the package, and then they came out looking pretty good. I ended up I cooked a whole bunch of them just so I could have some leftovers, but they came out pretty good. I ended up putting a little bit more seasoning on them, just lightly seasoned them as they went in, but you can always season more later. And yeah, I had a good dinner of beans and ribs later that night. So I finished out the week by doing a little bit more drawing. Been trying to keep on top of that and keep my creative brain going, and getting a little better at it every time. But that's it for this week, so thanks everybody for watching, and God bless you all.